Hello everybody and welcome to the last part of the Sims 4 Sparked TV show. It is the finale and it honestly felt like half an episode, so this is probably gonna be shorter video than normal when it came to reviewing my other things. But it was half an episode because they stretched out the last part on 2 episodes. The last challenge is quite boring. It's Play with Life final challenge. This challenge will demonstrate relationships that each of you have with the Sims. I'll let them explain the rules themselves because I have it noted down, but I always kinda am afraid to make mistakes that maybe they meant something else than what they wrote. So it's best if I just let it play out.
Teams, you'll have 15 minutes of prep time to talk with each other about your lives. Find the common thread to create a master story as a team. That thread will become the basis for creating 3 Sims. A build that will be a stage for your story, and of course the story itself, which you will present in the final video to our judges.
I really want to see the contestants really pushing the boundaries, thinking outside the box, and really trying to be creative and unique.
The only advice...
Now, this is kind of the whole issue with the whole thing. They were like, get together with teams and find a common thread throughout your real life experience, and then they want, be creative. Be creative and push the... You're not gonna get any creativity here unless you were in like some sort of Trauma Anonymous or Paraplegics Hospital. People's life common threads are not gonna be that interesting. It's gonna be things like school bullies, feeling worthless, trying to find yourself. It's not gonna be an amazing story. It's gonna be a very vanilla experience, and that is a lot of what we see, honestly. Here we cue on stories about how The Sims is an amazing and creative outlet. Honestly, half this episode was just filled with people sitting down and going, what is The Sims to me? Which didn't come off really great. It came off kind of cringy, and some of these things can be said about any kind of video game, and some of these things that people say about video games make me very concerned about the level of life achievement and whether or not they spend too many time playing said video games. So Team Llama is building a story about bullying, and Team Cowplant is making a video on inner voice. Now, here I can give an example of a very, very sad Sims background.
6 years old. I'm not gonna lie, when I play The Sims, I am playing like the best version of me. Like my Sim is like super smart, has like maxed out all her skills, whereas in real life I'm just like, I don't know, sitting at home alone.
You see, that is the issue. They took a whole bunch of people that are like, I project myself into a video game because my own life is crap, hence why I'm not spending time to change that. I instead will sit in front of this fake computer life and pretend that I am good in it instead. And it doesn't come off as a great advertisement for The Sims, which would be amazing as just a video game and not some sort of weird life goal that you expect people to tell you. It comes off as an anti-ad of, hey, you wanna be that sad person stuck at home? Come on right in, right here. This is your chance. Now moving on to how the competitors are doing preparing for the challenge. Team Llama has decided that X Mirror Mirror's life is literally the story, and honestly she comes off as a little dismissive about her own life story, which is really weird.
Like, okay.
The whole college idea.
I was thinking you could start me off with my mom buying me my PC.
Would it be like a holiday, like a Christmas present?
Okay, that works.
Just get my mom to buy me a PC. What was it? Like a holiday, like a Christmas present? It works. I mean, it's your own life story. Do you not remember how you got your first PC or what the hell happened there? Somewhere along this line, Team Cowplant realizes that they're essentially making the same story, because once again, you just told 2 different groups of 3 people that engage in the exact same hobby to find common threads about life and make a story out of it, which is not gonna be very creative. Of course they're gonna make very similar things.
With bullying.
So I overhear Team Llama, and from what I'm hearing, their story sounds super similar to ours.
Like she doesn't
Yeah, I kind of would expect that. Once again, unless you're in some sort of Paraplegics Anonymous, a lot of people's stories are gonna be very similar when you limit them to real world only, which is why this is not a great creative challenge. Now, we immediately gonna skip to when the first team presents, and it's Team Llama that is up first. And for some reason, right at the start here, they give X Mira Mira subtitles, just like before when I think they gave Plumbella subtitles for like a second. I never understand that decision.
Sorry, okay. I just hope you guys like it. This is the story of a girl who overcomes negativity to express her creativity and to follow her dreams by playing with life. Somewhere in New York lived a little girl who loved to express her creativity. It shined in everything she did.
Camera icon.
At school,
Mouse.
one of her classmates, Clem, mercilessly teased her.
Yeah, what are you getting
Mouse.
for Christmas?
I'm actually hoping to get a PC
Why?
because I really want to play video games.
There's
What?
still Mouse.
Girls don't play video games. Go have a tea party instead.
You're so mean. She cried to her mom about how Clem picked on her and how it made her feel. Her mother was a very supporting and loving woman. She always encouraged the little girl to do exactly what made her happy. When Christmas time came around, she bought her very own PC. Shortly after that, the little girl discovered The Sims. She created many cute Sims with zany storylines. In The Sims, she lived her wildest dreams. As the years went on, her love for gaming grew. While she met some very rude people along the way who doubted her hobby, she met some really supportive friends. Wabanubu nabla flune. What's a newbie Jeannie Lorray? Nafabu nabi.
Mouse.
Girl, you sound
Mouse.
so good. What is that, SimSuck? Yeah, it is.
Mouse.
You watch all those people on SimTube. Why not just try it yourself?
Games? Girls don't play games. Girls are trash at games. My kill streak is through the roof.
After chatting with her friend, she thought about the conversation they had long and hard. She made the decision to try and show her creativity to the world, even that raggedy old Clem. She used The Sims as a way to express herself. Sometimes she even recreated less than desirable situations with her own preferred outcome. So who was this girl, you ask? That girl was me. Hey guys, it's X Mira Mira, and here's how I play with life.
Now, everybody gets like super sappy. There were some comments about going, oh, it's like so relatable. I didn't tell my parents that I play video games either, especially as girls. And I feel a bit torn about this. It's mostly because gaming, just like TV watching or book reading, fictional book reading, it's not exactly a hobby that you can make. It's not really a money-making hobby, and it's not really a very, I want to say, creative hobby, as in you don't produce a painting, you don't produce music, you don't produce something substantial and tangible. It is your relaxation hobby. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a relaxation hobby. I feel like my own parents hate the fact that I do have, so they do not know that I have this YouTube. My mother once found one of my videos and got batshit crazy over it because she was very upset that I spent my time making videos online. There's absolutely nothing wrong with relaxation hobbies, but at the same time, it's not something that would be shown in an extra positive light, such as my hobby being violin playing. I perform in the orchestra on my free time. I do sports. I do professional sports. I do arts. It's not viewed that way. So yes, society is gonna slightly look down upon that. Not because you're a woman, but because you're engaging in a hobby that's a relaxation hobby primarily, rather than anything else. It's kind of like you wouldn't tell your mother that you just spent 7 hours watching TV shows. It's not very productive. It's the kind of thing you don't disclose. So it's the same with gaming. You don't tend to disclose that. Now, right afterwards, Team Cowplant goes, and I am gonna be skipping quite a lot in here because everybody's sappy, everybody's upset, and everybody's crying because it was so emotional. I believe that Team Cowplant honestly made a better video. There's a reason why I pointed out all of these mice and everything in the previous one. You're gonna see at the end.
Everybody has two voices in their head. One that tells us to express ourselves, and one that tells us to suppress ourselves. Sometimes those voices are so powerful that they seem real.
All right, take it away.
Expression is about turning your true self outward, which is ironic because it is so often kept inward. Growing up is hard enough without someone there to tell you you're doing it wrong. You're told to set yourself in a certain mold, not too little, not too much, just enough. There's a war inside of our heads. Do we listen to the voice that lifts us up, or the one that puts us down? Finding ways to get your creativity out can be such a relief. But sometimes,
it can be easy to doubt yourself. You fall into the safe, stable option, and you take the path that will make your friends and family proud. From the outside, looking in, you have the perfect life, and that same voice remains in my head, telling me to keep going. But my creativity is all around me, pushing me to escape the mundane reality. Which voice should I listen to? Once you finally break out,
there's no going back. The negative voices start to disappear. You take control of your own narrative and slowly become more comfortable than you've ever been before. Choose to surround yourself with those that will build you up and continue to challenge you to outwardly express yourself. You don't have to hide who you are, and you can't, because it shines brighter than anything you've ever known. Whether you express yourself through style, through creativity, or through your sexuality, just do you and own it.
I actually don't know how you can express yourself through sexuality, and to me that sounded like such a really, really odd thing. Like, for my hobbies, for my free time, I like to stick dildos inside people in very, very creative manner. I am expressing myself sexually, because that is like literally the only thing I can think about. Sexuality isn't an expression. Sexuality is just who you find attractive, and that's it. Now, did you notice one thing throughout this whole video? I didn't point out a single mouse. I didn't point out a single thing on screen because there wasn't any artifacting. It was better made from a technical standpoint. It better flowed as a story. We're gonna be skipping over this, but Dr. Ashley laments the fact that she can't do anything creative in her financial field and her day job. I wanted to say that you have very weird image of reality going. You have to be yourself, and you have to be not afraid to be yourself and to express yourself creatively and make that your goal. A lot of jobs that need to be done are not creative, and a lot of people that are working those jobs are still just as you, as in they still have their creative side. I don't see why you're upset about being in the financial field, about having to do rather uncreative things. In my life, I marked graded papers for 3 weeks straight. That was just finding if any of the papers had an either answer that couldn't be seen, or the correct answer, or the non-correct answer. It was very repetitive. I was a programmer, in which case I did what I was told. You have some creativity in how you write the programming function, but it's not a very creative job. It's just a very draining job. And now I'm a grapher, so I describe objects off the internet for an AI. And that is also no creativity. That's all about specs. I could tell you about naming conventions of handbags right now. I don't, because that's not very interesting. These are real world jobs, and real people work real world jobs. If you end up being on the internet as a simmer, making a living off that, you are very lucky. You are very, very lucky, because that's the thing. Creative jobs don't make the world go round. Regular labor makes the world go round, and all of these things that I mentioned as well, they're office jobs. This isn't even talking about the farmer that's plowing the fields for 12 hours so that you have some food. Now, why was I pointing out all of those little issues with one of the stories, outside of the fact that I do this normally regardless and did this before? Because this is what was said.
So teams, I gotta tell you, they really agonized over this. In fact, it was a split decision. Eventually, because they couldn't find anything wrong with what
couldn't find anything wrong.
They just landed on the story that moved them the most.
They couldn't find anything wrong? I could point out everything wrong to you in a second. I can point out whenever people leave mice, like whenever people leave plumb bobs. I can point out whenever whoever was operating the projector in one of the videos left the Windows player thing on screen for a while, and these people are like, nope, nothing was wrong. So to sum up, Team Llama wins. Now, here is a bit of a funny bit. There were two men in the competition. One was a black man that got eliminated day one, and one was a white man that was straight and had several children. And the straight white man with several children managed to win this competition that was very obviously focusing on the whole LGBT and diversity aspect quite a bit, to a point where it went into several missions. So I found that to be funny. But if to talk serious, I can't even agree with the last decision that the judges made in this competition. Because the second story, it was just better technically executed. You didn't see mice on screen. You didn't see the camera icon on screen. It was better technically executed, but your sentence was, we couldn't find anything wrong, so it came down to whatever we preferred that day. And that can sum up perfectly this whole competition of whoever won was whoever we preferred. And the thing is, it didn't even go down really well on the forums. If you look at reviews for Sparked, if you go through the forum threads, it's just not very positive. I was looking at the number of views for YouTube for the TV show. They aren't good, at least compared to other YouTubers. A video of an episode from last week only got 230,000 views. That's barely more than a normal video from Plumbella or James Turner. And compared to videos by Call Me Kevin or Grace Still Plays, which can get 200,000 views in a single day, and almost 500,000 views within a single week, it's quite low. I doubt it got many views on TBS either. All of which makes me wonder, was it really worth it? Well, financially, definitely not, because in my experience, 10,000 views is about $1. So at 250,000 views, you earned $25 out of the show. You invested $100,000 into the prize money. Honestly, as bad as Spark was, I'm glad we were able to come together and rip on it. Really, the spirit and feeling of the community was alive during the 4-week run. Lol, true. I think the community was 96% against it. Now everybody forgot about it, probably because it was just so forgettable. The thing I'm most glad about is that because of the backlash that Sparked got, we were able to voice our problems with The Sims and EA in general, and Gurus listened. It was the first time I saw SimGuru Ninja participating in the forums so much, and I hope he now knows how people feel about certain things EA does, what the customer's mindset is, and even the fact that we have a brain of our own and we're not influenced by game changers alone. If it wasn't for the negative reception of Sparked, our constructive criticism and threads like this would have gone unnoticed. I hope you're right. On the other hand, I am worried to verify that he knows the way to the forums, yet he came more for a very long time just for the Sparked thing. Effectively, yes. Before the Sparked thing, EA wasn't even listening to feedback, so when people were like, influencers couldn't literally do the things that you asked them to do, because your game is so limited, at that point EA started dragging their feet, going, it's not limited, I'm gonna debate you on this. Normally, 6 years worth of criticism, and they just pile it into a box that they don't touch. It's like, oh, this isn't important. Selling the game is important. So effectively, from Simmer's point of view, SimSparked failed. From how many views it attracted, SimSparked failed. So probably there's not gonna be a season 2. So this is probably gonna go in EA's failed project box. Sad bit is that the last episode was still plagued with the exact same problems that the previous ones were, which is we rate things however we want. We don't actually have a way to judge things by percentages. We don't actually give scores by percentages. Whatever we want flies, and that's why it flopped as a TV show. This isn't professional. This is... I felt like Apples that day, so Apples won. Well, Apples just received $100,000. I hope that it helped these YouTubers. I hope that they're gonna enjoy that money. I have nothing against that. But really, they won because they were the apple of the day. That's it. It's not a progressive thing. You can't actually see the progress. You can't actually see what went right, what went wrong, or learn from it. It was just so random. Whoever was judges should not be judges on a TV show, and if they're gonna try to do a TV show again, they should probably hire someone that can put together an okay judging commission and an okay TV show. Thank you for watching. This has been Mirta's reviews for The Sims Sparked, the last one. Not gonna see that again. I hope you're gonna join me for my regular newsy videos that are normally more game related and less Sims related. I rarely pull out Sims at all right now because The Sims 4 has just really disappointed me. So despite the fact that I was a fan of the previous ones, yeah, it's just, I'm tired of it. I'm waiting for The Sims 5 to see if they're gonna sink the franchise or if they can raise it up. I'm also on my last warning on the forums and have been banned for the past, for the next 6 months. Not even the past 6 months, for the next 6 months. So yeah, my feedback only goes as far as YouTube reaches. We may still participate in Spark challenges just because I like doing the challenge activity. I liked watching other people's stuff. I find that to be positive community interaction, but it's not why EA wanted it. EA wanted this to be a marketing tool. I don't think it comes off as a good marketing tool. Anyways, if you like me, please subscribe, and I hope I'll get to see you on my other videos. Toodaloo.